Anchor Diaries, this afternoon we are at the shipyard of Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, Takoradi. Behind the successful story of this wonderful department, the shipyard, is our very own noble engineers, chief engineers, who have managed this facility since 2010, when this facility was renovated by the then ex-president, His Excellency Professor John Evans Atta-Mills. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Chief Engineer Lloyd Kwame Gawu, the Port Marine Engineer, with his Deputy Chief Engineer Peter Henry Autry. He is the Deputy Port Marine Engineer. And my own brother, Master Engineer Kingsley Kaiko. He is the shipyard manager. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Well, in the history of the Port of Takoradi, the marine shipyard, plays a very significant role, as much as maintaining of our floating craft, especially our tugboats, our pilot launches, our
patrol boats.
Yeah, patrol boats are all concerned.
Marine.
So what is the driving force? What is your core mandate of this? I will begin with you, Chief Engineer.
Well, the facility is charged with the responsibility to maintain and operate all the marine assets for berthing, unberthing, and other towing activities, as well as handling salvage activities within the port limit, the approaches, and then within the harbor basin. To do this, we have laid down strategies for maintenance, sourcing of power through the ERP as an enterprise resource planning. We do this ensuring that we conform to statutory requirements that are laid down, and so we are well guided to reach optimal goals. Thank you.
All right. Do you have something, Deputy? Do you have something else to add on? And the shipyard manager, if you have something to add on to what he's saying.
Essentially, my boss, the Port Marine Engineer, has expounded our function, our core function as a department. Like he has said, we play a critical role in the port. We form part of the essential port security ISPS architecture, in order to, for instance, we have patrol boats that we maintain that ensure security of vessels, anchorage, ward off illegal and illicit businesses that may go on in anchorage. And essentially, without the marine engineering department, you will not have functional floating craft. So our core mandate, as he has said, is to make sure that the multi-million-dollar assets of the authority in terms of the tugboats and the launches are well maintained, class maintained, meet statutory requirements, and we offer engineering services to other third parties that call in our ports.
Okay. Engineer, do you have something to say?
Yeah, the shipyard, in collaboration with the marine engineering, shipyard has served as a garage, more or less a garage for repair and maintenance of this floating craft.
In most situations, whenever you want to maintain this craft, most situations you have to take it from water and make sure you get access to the bottom.
So our core mandate is to repair these vessels by taking them out of water, though sometimes we do some afloat by taking it out of water. Aside of repairing our own craft, we are also open to, or we were open to third-party vessels. That is when we became the SBU, after the renovation was commissioned, renovation works were commissioned by His Excellency as President, Professor Evans Atta-Mills. Yeah, we open to the third-party vessels where we receive the backhoe badges, the gasam badges, the fishing vessels, we maintain them, then we get the direct revenue. Aside of maintaining craft, we also serve as a emergency response facility in the port. Wherever the vessel is in distress that we can accommodate, we quickly rush it to shipyard and we take it out of water, especially if it is at the bottom, then we find the necessary problem to it. In delivering our core mandate, the basic work that we do comprises of
sandblasting, welding works,
painting, surface preparation, all forms of surface preparation, and NDTs, and we also subject vessels to class survey, class docking survey.
All right. Yeah. So thank you, gentlemen, for that wonderful explanation about your core mandates as a department or as a section. Let me ask this. You know, it is always believed that ship turnaround time is of essence to every seafarer or a vessel shipping line. So in your case, what is actually your role? What is your impact about ship turnaround time?
Well, as I said earlier on, we ensure that the vessels are available in the first place to operate, and then we make them reliable. They can be available, but if along the way there is a breakdown, then the turnaround time is becomes longer, because you will have to call everything off and call in another boat. So we make sure that the vessels are not only available to operate but reliable by going with our maintenance strategies that we have put in place.
Do you have something to say?
Essentially, the port marine engineer has put it straight out. Essentially, if you don't have a functioning talk, properly functioning talk, there cannot be berthing and unberthing. In fact, the process all begins from the pilot launches, where it takes the pilot to the pilot station, which is outside the harbor basin. So if you don't have a comfortable functioning pilot launch in the first place, the pilots cannot board the vessels, let alone to bring them in. So our work starts from the pilot launches. We make sure that they are technically functional and they are comfortable, stable enough, so the navigators can move it to the pilot stations, board the crafts, and then bring them in. Then the tugs are also ready and functional. They have the required power, the bollard pull, to ensure that the berthing and unberthing processes. So we play a very cardinal role. If you don't function properly, none of this activity can be well achieved.
Yeah, with respect to the vessel turnaround time in relation to our work as a ship repair center, it is said the vessel turnaround time mostly depend on our response time by our tugs. And for the tugs to respond at the right time, it also depends on its reliability and its availability, like Port Marine Engineer said. So for the vessel to be reliable and to be available, when it comes to the dry dock, it means the vessel is unavailable. So it is our duty and responsibility as shipyard management to ensure that whenever the vessel comes to the dry dock, we work on it, beat the downtime, make sure that we release it, make it available for it to go for vessel operation or ship operation.
All right, thank you so much. I'd like to find out, you see, within the port environment, every department has an asset that it controls or it manages. So what is one critical asset that is under your jurisdiction? I will continue with you. Okay. Under your jurisdiction that you think that is worth, speaking about.
Asset under our jurisdiction, I think it's worth talking about, has to do with the slipway and the graving dog. These are the two main facilities that we use to lift the vessel out of water. If these facilities are down and you have to work on a vessel, you hardly take it from water and work on it. Beside that, I believe we have also the tugboat and the launches and all that we can talk about, and I will leave that one for
Let's bring to my question.
Yeah.
So how long has your slipway been down? How long?
The slipway currently as it is working, but it has reduced its capacity or because of depreciation or aging. You see, formerly when it was constructed, it used to work within a capacity of 650 deadweight. After the construction, the capacity was not able to come to, or they were not able to bring it to restore its original capacity. So what happened was that it was limited up to 550. But along the way, we had some challenges. The underwater mechanism got broken, the winches, we had problem, and the rail has depreciated to a extent that we hardly take capacity of that tonnage. So now we have limited ourselves to 100 tons, which we barely use it for our launches and all that. So it's not totally down. We use it to assemble the oil hose for tallow. We use it to lift our morning launches, the pilot launches and the patrol launches. Yeah.
So, engineer, chief engineer, what do you say to that about your assets?
Yeah, our major assets are all marine assets. That is the 5 tugboats we have. I must say we have some of the most sophisticated harbor tugs in the region. That is the ASD tugs. We have very fast craft like the Interceptor that can do over 60 knots. We have pilot transfer launches and then the security patrol boats. We have about 13 crafts in all for our operation. Yeah, so those are the various assets that we have. We have other assets on board the craft like the pollution control equipment. On each tug we have external firefighting equipment which add to our salvage capacity. I mean, fighting fire at the aprons of the quay, fighting fire on other vessels. Most of the tugs have that salvage capability. So we maintain all those as well.
Anything to add on?
Just as the port marine engineer said, a classical example was one of the recent hoses that caught fire in one of our beds. I don't want to be specific, but the enormity of the inferno was such that even shore-based firefighting trucks could not contain it. So we deployed 3 tugs with our Fifi engines, and then we fought the fire for over 4 hours. Wow! And then subdued the fire. So it tells you the critical nature of the equipment that we manage. We also have a launch in Axim that takes our staff to the lighthouse and back. We have staff stationed in the lighthouse. It's one of the assets that we manage. And so all marine assets, as my port marine engineer has already indicated, falls under our ambit. But it is worth noting that the average cost of a tug, the nominal value now is about 6 million or $4 million. You can put it in that context. So if you put all this together, it is quite a lot of assets to talk about. We have a workshop with a big capacity lathe machines that many other yards depend on us for maintenance of their shaft, crankshaft, propeller shafts. These assets are so critical, and then they are all under the ambit of the marine engineering and the shipyard department. So these are the things that we manage.
So thank you so much for that elaboration as well. I just need a yes or no answer. Can marine operations work without marine engineering?
Yes. They can. No, they cannot work without marine engineering.
No.
Yeah, no.
Can they work without marine engineering?
No.
Engineer?
Absolutely no.
Absolutely. So can you tell me in simple terms the coordination between the two departments, marine operations and marine engineering?
Yeah, first of all, the output from our process is their input.
Their output,
Our output is their input.
Okay.
We get the vessels
So
ready.
it's kind of a symbiotic
Yes.
relationship. Okay.
Yeah, you know, most of the departments are interdependent, but we basically facilitate their job. We facilitate the job of the marine operations. Though not seen at the bridge, we are down there working for the craft to move
The unsung
out
heroes.
and in. Yes, the unsung heroes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to hear that one. Okay, so Mr. Kaiko, what do
Yeah.
you say to that?
Yeah, that is correct. They cannot work without us. Reason being that we always make the vessels ready. The tugs, we make them ready for shipping movement. They rely on even the maneuver of the vessel, talking about the she, the tiller, and all that. We have to work on it before. When you come to the shipyard, when the vessel comes, we have to make sure that it's seaworthy. Whenever they want to have a crash survey, it's a shipyard that they will bring it. We do all the assessment, making sure that the vessel is safe for them and it's safe for all of us. So they always rely on our output as their input to make sure that we bring vessel to the port and we work on it.
I can add to that. Essentially, everything about the vessel is our business. From electrical, electronics, to mechanical, to propulsion, to towing equipment. Its functionality depends essentially on the marine engineering department. So it is like my boss has already indicated, our output is their input. If the output is not good, they cannot sufficiently function and do their job. So it's a symbiotic relationship, as you have indicated. It's a teamwork, but they are the face of the output, the final output. So often
Nobody hears of you. You are in the engine room, ensuring that it's just like a team.
Yeah.
When they are playing, you
Yeah.
only see the players, but you don't know the technical experts doing
Behind them,
how
yeah.
to do the changes, who to bring in and who to take
That's
off
right.
and all that. Yeah,
Exactly.
so I understand.
Yeah.
that's how the relationship is.
I understand.
Yeah, let me add this, that the presence of the shipyard is very strategic in the sense that as we do our preventive maintenance as a daily, weekly, quarterly and all.
Let me hold on to that. That is where I'm coming now.
Okay.
Your maintenance schedule. Okay. Do you have any? You keep mentioning any
Maintenance strategy.
the ship turnaround time to have an effective port operations activities and all that. You need a very functional tugboat, pilot launches, and what else? What did you mention?
Mooring launches.
Mooring launches.
Mooring launches.
Yeah.
You need all those ones. Okay. So what is the maintenance culture of that particular or these crafts? Do you wait till they are having challenges with their machines or engines, or you have a preventive way of maintaining them? You have a reactive way of maintaining them, or just as somebody might say, let's go.
No.
Is that the case?
No, that is not the case. Machines do break down.
Good.
So when a machine breaks down, all you need to do is a corrective maintenance. But for it not to break down and to prolong its span, what you do is preventive maintenance. Yeah, in the midst of ordering parts and its not coming on time, you do continually condition monitoring. You monitor the performance of the crafts by various tests, and then you can prolong its use for some time instead of shutting it down totally. So we have laid out preventive maintenance. We have maintenances we do hourly, checks we do, weekly preventive maintenance, monthly, quarterly, every 6 months, and annual. The annuals are usually what we do at the shipyard. That is coming for total rehabilitation.
Yeah.
That is works that you cannot do when the vessel is in operation. We bring it to the shipyard. So it is not the case of going by the firefighting approach. You run till it breaks down. No, you make sure you prevent the breakdowns. But
Maintenance shuttle.
yes,
Right.
yeah, you follow a strict maintenance schedule, and not only that, you order parts ahead of time, so that when the maintenance is due, you have parts to do the maintenance that you want.
So, in terms of emergency, you already have the spares to back up with your maintenance activity. Is that the case?
Yes.
Let me take that one from
Okay.
engineer.
Like the port marine engineer has said, we have adopted a forecast method of sourcing for our spare parts.
Okay.
And then by class requirement, we must maintain a minimum stock of certain critical spares. You know, and all vessels are expected to do that, so that in case of critical defects, you can quickly rectify. In our case, we are trying to prevent a lot of cash holdings in terms of spare parts. However, we do forecasting. We look at running hours, and then we order critical parts in time. And often it has helped us. So when there are breakdowns, you don't hear that there's no talk. It's because the marine engineering department are doing preventive maintenance, and they are doing forecasting in terms of spare part acquisition to shorten the lead time when we actually need the parts. Those are the strategies that we have adopted to limit the downtime period for all crafts. So you see a seamless operation of the docks in the port. It is not automatic. It is a strategic plan in motion.
Okay. So let me ask you, engineers, how many tugboats do we have as a port?
5.
5 tugboats. How many pilot launches?
2.
2 pilot launches
And 2 security patrol boats.
and 2 security patrol boats and 2 mooring
Launches.
launches. Okay, so with their maintenance schedule, with their maintenance, do you have something to say?
Oh, no, that's okay.
Okay, so with their maintenance schedule, do you have a file that records each maintenance activity, or you are operating with a computerized maintenance management system, CMMS? Are you using that model where, in the system, it flags up anytime this particular craft is due maintenance? Do you keep the physical notepad as in file for each, or you have a computerized system? Which one do you have? Let me start from you.
All right. Like we do have both. Okay. The reason is that we need, by class requirement, you need to have some filings. So we have digital filing of activities that we do on the craft. Then we have the hard copy filings of some of the activities that we do on the craft. So our ERP systems are supposed to be fully integrated to facilitate this computerized based maintenance protocol. But at the moment we have limited authorization, as we all know, to the space that we have bought on the ERP. So gradually we are moving there, but we are running the two apart.
maintenance
Yes,
schedule.
keeping hard copies. There is some
Rely
data
on the
on the
computer.
computer, but we're keeping hard copies. But gradually we'll get to the point where we can put all the data into the soft copy. But that is what
Shipyard manager, what do you say to that?
Yeah, that is right. You know, our maintenance model or interface in the ERP is not fully integrated, and I believe we are working on it, of which we know our GM engineering is seriously pushing for that. So we are working the assets that we have, whereby we do when it's due from our maintenance plan. You put in the maintenance schedule. We plan it from the ERP. After doing the planning, we use the ERP to request the materials against the particular asset that has been due. After we've done the work, we send a report and we put it at the history feedback, and it is closed. When it is due, the system will tell you, though it will not prompt you, but in the system you will see that this thing has due. So when it's fully integrated, we can use the computer this thing to monitor all our assets. The same is applied to all the shipyard equipment. We also use it, the hard copy maintenance plan alongside what happens in the ERP. But notwithstanding what we do internally, we also have what we call we have adapted the 5 level of maintenance management approach, whereby in maintenance management system, there are some situations we have to fall on the OEMs, especially the engines, some of our equipment that we are using, we don't have fully control on it. So when it comes to certain situations,
you don't have full control. What do you mean?
I'm talking about the intervention whereby you have to call an expert. Okay, you need a special spare part, like Engineer Peter mentioned. We have made some plan. We fall on the cart, we fall on the kumis as and when the emergency comes, because not all the part that we can stock them. Okay, so there's this emergency approach. When it gets to the 5th level that we can do, we fall on the OEMs for support.
Shipyard manager, thank you for that. So that brings to my next set of questions. I want to understand, do you have any challenges with respect to procurement of your parts, their availability, and just-in-time arrivals? Do you have any issue with that? Let me start with the chief engineer.
Yeah, in our maintenance, in sourcing parts, we cannot go to the open market all the time. There are few times and very petty items we can get from the open market, but because we have to meet statutory requirements, the OEMs, or the equipment manufacturers, they insist on original parts because the vessels are insured, and so if you go to use parts from the open market, there is no guarantee. So we always have to fall on the original maker, and that takes time because in our part of the world there is a lot of internal delays, and that is why we order much ahead of time, so that by the time it is due, the parts are already in. I must say some of the parts even take 6 months to arrive.
Right.
Yes. So if you don't order in time, then you'll be falling short of the maintenance when it is due. We have most of our OEMs to be Caterpillar, Cummins, Bodwin, MTU, and then we are in close link with them. We can call sometimes when we are challenged with what next. We do Zoom meetings and then they get in touch. We can even log on the portal to get answers for what we need. Yeah. It is just that Diamond is one of the most reliable shipbuilders that we have, and then we have their full support when it comes to falling on the shipbuilder for assistance. Yeah, they've been helpful for decades.
What do you say to this in terms of your spare parts procurement, their delays? maybe just in time arrivals and all that?
It is a big challenge to the department and the proper functioning of the marine assets. In that most of our spare parts for the equipment makers are in Europe. Their headquarters are in Europe. It's difficult to source locally or within the sub-region some of the spare parts that we need. And it leads to a longer lead time for delivery of these parts. But essentially, our procurement systems is also part of the bottleneck to the problems that we have. I think that if after the approval of budget and then procurement planning, if prioritization is given to the spare parts for the marine assets.
No, you see, sorry to cut you short, but don't you think as how should I put it, as a state-owned organization, just to avoid procurement breaches, things must follow its normal sequences and all that. Don't you think so?
I believe so. I was going to espouse on that.
Okay.
That the way to reduce the lead time is to prioritize your capex or your maintenance budget of the marine section. Go and seek for approval from PPA. You'll be given that exceptional approval when you write for sole sourcing because you are taking it from OEMs. You can't get it in the open market. The procurement authority will give you that permission. Then you procure ahead of time, then the lead time can be shortened. But if all our spare parts are treated just like any other parts are treated in our system, then the delays are inevitable. But when you look at it and see that this equipment, most of it, 95% of it, cannot be procured in country. To prioritize, and then they'll give us the exemptions, and then we can fast track the procurement process. You don't have to breach the law. Go to the PPA, write for special dispensation. They will give you the authority, and then you order the part. Then they come in time. If not, we will be having problems where vessels break down and they will be there for a long time because there are no parts to repair them. So in my view, this is one of the ways to solve the procurement issue. Yeah.
So thank you for that. Let me ask. So with materials department being the procurement entity within the port, in a scale of are you putting them on spot? In a scale of 1 to 10, how would you scale them? No, let's be real. I mean, engineer.
I'll give them 7. I'll give them 7.
You give them 7.
Yeah.
You?
Oh, all that we have, anyhow, no matter how late.
No, Peter, wait. Engineer, wait. Just give me on a scale of 1 to 7. 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Engineer Kaiko says 7. That is it, B or B plus. So you, how much would you give them?
As far as marine spare parts are concerned,
Good. That is exactly what we're talking about.
That's how far I can. But for the general performance of the department,
Not the general performance, as much as marine engineering aspect is concerned.
I think that we will be flying around 50% capability. If we were doing above that, most of our problems would have been dealt with long time.
Let me hear from the big mind.
I will give them 6 in the sense that the rest, if it has to do with procuring parts from overseas.
To be honest with you, I'm very sure if the procurement manager is my man should be here, you would argue with you guys about your ratings. And I know it's kind of, we are all trying to understand each other and see how best we can create that synergy between the various interlap or intersection of our operations as a port authority. So I think
all the same. 6 is a pass. Kaiko has given them 7 because
7 and 5. That's fair.
Kaiko has given them 7 because most of his parts you can get locally. But it is one thing ordering, but if there is no regular follow-up. That is the gap I find. We can order, and the next day it is pushed to headquarters if it has to do with parts coming from overseas. But there should be this regular follow-up to make sure that, yes, we have also sent, and this is where we are now. If that is cleared, they may even shoot up to.
So shifting
90.
away from the parts and all that.
1 minute.
Okay.
On the side of the parts, my rating basically is based on outstanding list of items and the number of years since they were ordered that I have.
Years or months?
Yes.
Some years and some months.
And some weeks.
No. So if you look at the list, it's a very tall list.
Okay.
And one of the notable parts is a critical part, such as the laminar clutches for our tugs. You may not understand what that is, but it's just like your car without a clutch, without a gearbox. Your engine can be working, but there'll be no
movement.
No movement.
Okay.
That's how critical it is. And so it's been so long, and we are just managing. It's been managing, and when it gives up finally, everybody will hear.
So which particular craft are you talking about?
I'm talking about the 80-tonner ASDs.
Okay.
They are all due. Their clutches are all due for replacement. So Ben Osmensa, the Glow, these are the talks I'm talking about. 80-tonner. So basically, looking at the tall list of outstanding.
I think director will be very glad to hear this, so that they will speed up action in terms of its procuring, because we have such an expensive equipment, and it's still working without such a very important backup spare, as you put it. Then I think director will be happy to hear this and make sure that we get the right thing done. Yeah, so all right. So as I was,
the list is tall. That's what we say.
you can hear from the marine engineer. They said the list is tall. So procurement, we are coming up to you, and we need to make sure that you fast track our procurement processes. And if we have to send the materials manager to headquarters to remain there till the items arrive, then that would be nice. Anyway, so not moving away from the space, let's look at this scenario as experts. The chief engineer, shipyard manager. How are you able to determine a counterfeit part or a substandard part from an original one? How are you able to do that? I'll start from you.
Yes, from the records so far, we have not been able to detect any fake parts, though we inspect them when they come. What you can see may be a defect during the transportation or something, but the other thing is, our environment is so electrolyte. We are close to the sea. So if you keep it on the shelves for a long time, you have maybe scale formation or rust. That is it. But when you get spares from the OEM, it is guaranteed. That is why we try as much as possible to avoid the open market. Where you can have a fake part is usually with the consumables, like paints, pipes, sheets that you get locally. People make money the wrong way, so they can end up rebranding paints for you. Change containers, but the content may be.
You mean the anti-rust paint?
The marine paint. So
they are those.
So the coatings in general, it is most likely you can have fake ones. So that has to do with the consumable, but with critical parts, because of where you source them, it is highly impossible.
Okay, I think I'm happy from the point that you and I was tempted to say that answers the question. That once you are procuring from the OEMs, then there is no way you could be, shortchanged or something. But Engineer Kaiko, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, like you already said, when you are procuring from OEMs, more or less 90% assurance is there, but
not 100%.
Not 100%.
Okay.
OEMs, anything can happen. But from what Chief Engineer said concerning the consumables, okay, that one, if care is not taken, they can serve you and bring anything. So what we normally, as experts, what we use it to detect is based on certificate, the safety data sheet, and sometimes so many things that comes to play. When it comes to the paint and those stuff, that one too, we have the right sources that we have to procure. So the vendors that we select them, we have to select the ones that are registered with those people, and they make sure that they bring the right thing. And when they bring it, we have the parameters to check, or we use certain parameters to check. When it comes to the plates that we use to renovate our craft, it's very, very, very essential and sensitive. So when you are supplying it, there are parameters we use to check to see whether this plate is coming from the right source and it's meet or correspond to the plate that we are going to use to renew. We have what we call the heat stamp. When we are supplying plates and we are not seeing the heat stamp, it means it's not coming from the original source. And it should come with the certificate, and whatever that they have stated in the certificate should correspond with the heat stamp. So assuming we have requested that we want a vendor to supply us 36A, which is pure marine plates, just to renovate or replace some of the existing plates, we should get the right plates. Other than that, the similar metals can cause corrosion and either destroy our vessel or other way. So we have to make sure that you bring it from the right source. We check the certificate, we check the heat stamp, and we make sure that it's conform before we can pass it. So these are some of the things we also use it to control the consumable. This cross cut, the cutting discs, the electrodes, and all that.
So Chief Engineer Oche, so with all this, I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear that you procure from the OEMs to ensure that we derive value for money in terms of our procurement practices and all that. Chief Engineer, so with this, what is your relationship like with the shipyard or marine engineering and the OEMs?
It is a very
Do they provide after sales service or guarantee or anything in terms of their procurement?
Exactly. Like my fellow engineers have already said, our environment or our area of specialization is highly standardized. So the parts, every part you want to procure is serialized and is in the OEM's system. If you get a number and it doesn't correspond, it won't fit.
Exactly.
Especially on the main engines. So when it comes to, say, the consumables, paint, and even diesel oil, they are standards. So like the port marine engineer said, even if you bring us a bunker, we demand certificate, okay, to tell us the parameters of the fuel you are supplying to us. Even in our industry, everything is certified. The paint, you will bring paint certificate. Anti-fouling, you bring anti-fouling certificate. You can't get the certificate if it is not original. If you bring the fake one, when we scan it and put it onto the OEM platform online, it will reject it. It will show that it is fake. So it's highly standardized to the extent that it's difficult to find substandard spare parts and from where we source them. Predominantly Africa and our sub-region, we are not into shipbuilding. So you don't find these spares on our market as you would in Europe. So the standardization solves the problem of counterfeits and all that. So we don't have much of a problem in that regard. Just ensure that whatever you are getting, there's certificate for it. Even a new engine, a brand new engine ordered, comes with a certificate, a factory certificate that tells you that this test have been run on it and all that. Factory acceptance certificate. So and our oils, they come with their material safety data sheets.
Sure.
We have to compare it to the OEM's standards and their recommendations. If they don't meet the recommendations, we don't use it. And on top of that, we take samples of fuel, lube oils to labs for test. Normally. So when we test and then it doesn't conform, we will surcharge whoever supplied it because you have given us something different from the specifications that we gave you. So there are a lot of checks and balances. If not, we can easily have breakdowns. That is very costly to repair. So in the areas of substandard spare parts, we don't have so much of a challenge in that regard.
And let me add this one also to it. With our management system that we have in place, that's the ISO 9001, 14001, and 45001. It also specifies how we can check our the control of our service providers. Okay, we have the TOR checklist that we have listed all these things in. So whenever that you have anything, the vendors come in, you should compare whatever that they have quoted or whatever they have supplied to what specification that you requested. If they don't meet your specification, if they meet, you have to go further checks and make sure that you approve or you take it.
All right, thank you so much. So we are here at the heart of the Marine Engineering Department, the shipyard, and we have listened to the experts having to express how knowledgeable they are with their expertise and all that they have to say about the operations, how they correlate their operations with the OEMs, as well as their procurement challenges and all that. I think for now, we will take a little break, and when we come back, we will talk about GPHA support towards the airship repair or Marine Engineering Department. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're still at the heartbeat of the shipyard, Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, Takoradi. And as I introduced earlier, I have with me the Chief Engineer, Lloyd Kwame Gawu, who happens to be the Port Marine Engineer. And he's deputized by Chief Engineer Peter Henry Ochery. And also my very good friend, Engineer Kaiko, who happens to be the shipyard manager. Gentlemen, welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
So we've spoken a lot. We've spoken about support system from OEMs. We've spoken about support system from procurement department in terms of your activities and all that. Now, how would you describe, because all these supports cannot come without the expert support or approval from the director of port, for that matter, GPHA Takoradi. How would you speak with the relationship in terms of support? Chief Engineer.
The relationship is good in the sense that, first of all, at the corporate level, they listen to us.
Good.
At the end of every year, we submit our budgets on how to build our capacity, the spares that we need, and even to an extent of getting new crafts. So all these are put in the budget, and an attempt is clearly made to support our training budget, to make money available to procure parts, and then to build capacity for new businesses. So the support from corporate management is appreciable.
Okay. Engineer Ocho.
Corporate GPHA is our biggest support or supporter, because we buy into the corporate agenda of GPHA corporate. Yeah. And they make available finances. Notable of such support is when we indicated and projected the need for tugboats, new 80-tonner tugboats, to augment the towage system in Takoradi Port, forecasting 300-meter long vessels that we may be receiving, bulk carriers. I mean, management, out of the small money we have for all of us, have allocated some funds to make sure that we get these stocks. It means that we have listening corporate management, and they understand our critical role and therefore support us. There has not been any time that we have requested for critical parts and justified the need for that, and we have been refused. There may be challenges in finance, but we have not also been told before that we don't have money to buy critical parts. So we have received enormous support from corporate GPHA, and we expect that more of such support will come in capacity building as we are getting ultra-modern, sophisticated crafts. We need to retool ourselves from the human resource point, get in more seasoned mariners to augment what we have now in order to maintain the modern crafts that we are procuring.
Okay. Okay, so good to know. What would you say to this? What has been the recent investment in terms of, you know, you all engineers keep mentioning the fact that when it comes to procuring of parts and all that, in terms of tools that you work with, machines that you work with, has there been any recent development or investment onto that area in terms of procuring equipment or tools that you work with? Engineer Kaiko.
Yeah, let me continue from where my brother ended. And it's like the support has been fantastic. And I must say, GPJ as a corporate entity is very big, and the responsibility is huge. We know there's problem, or there's some the cash inflow has been a sort of challenges for some time, and the budget limitation and all of that. But I believe the GPJ corporate can do more, and we are expecting more of such support, as my brother said. For the tools, I must say, especially in relation with our maintenance work, so far as our floating craft are concerned, has not been appreciated, especially with the shipyard, the late machines that we have, old late machines. Now people are using CNC, that's the computer numerical control machines.
For their late turning, we are still using these conventional late machines. They are old. Sometimes you struggle to get spare parts. We struggle to get even the power hacksaw. A lot of things that we put in requests, and we think procurement can up the game and give us that support that we know from GPHA. And our two main docking facilities, Graving Dog and the Slipway. The Slipway, like initially asked me, has been down for some time. The capacity is operating at far lower capacity.
550 to 100.
200, which is far lower. We are struggling, and I believe when the GPHA prioritize it and upgrade it, we are going to do more. I'm saying this because we have our competitors that are all African slipway. They are operating with a capacity of 1,500 deadweights, and we have 100 tons. So what are we doing? So imagine. So in as much as that we appreciate support, we are expecting more of such from GPHA.
Like Oliver Twist.
You see that thing?
For more.
That is
all
it.
Right. Chief, do you have something to say to that?
Yes, the support, which has been appreciable, has to do with capacity building. You know, we have hired a lot of men with various skills that are coming. I must say, last year alone, the support from corporate management to build the capacity of the young ones we have employed has been so much. And the Director General took it upon himself to come to us to listen and hear all our needs. And when he went back, we saw a lot of interventions to be coming soon to us. And that alone, I must say, the approach to satisfy our needs has been good.
Okay. So let me ask this before we move away from that. In terms of capacity, do you think you are underutilized, or you are under-resourced, or you have general challenges? Let me start with Engineer Ocho.
Okay. I think that the port has priorities. Expanding port expansion to accommodate new traffics that are coming. So if you are looking at growth in the departmental section, we have to look at it in the view of the entire port. We have challenges just as every other department has. But I would say that at this critical time, the human resource seems to be the top end, because we have multi-million-dollar equipment that we are managing. But if you don't get the right
Expertise
and competencies to manage them, the cost that it will come with will be higher. So yes, in as much as we are getting a lot of support gradually, we currently will need an intervention in the human resource, to which we have made a request, done justification, done analysis of skill requirements, and submitted to management. We are hoping that, just as they have listened to us all over these years, attention will be paid there. We'll get competent marine engineers, certified marine engineers, to join us so that we can manage effectively these assets, and then develop the department to support the port agenda to become the #1 oil and gas hub in the sub-region. You know, that target it cannot be achieved without competent, well-certified marine engineers. Marine engineers, if I may add, are multi-skilled discipline. They are able to support almost every terminal in this port. From dry bulk terminal, the activities that went there from the conveyor belt systems, oil and gas terminal. So the more you have this expertise at your disposal, then the stronger the port is. Whenever anything comes up, men will man up to support the port in that regard. So I would just say that in as much as we are getting a lot of support, if we go more support in that department in terms of getting more competent mariners to join our fold, it will make the department stronger and better.
Okay,
amidst other things.
Okay. Chief Engineer, do you have something to say?
No, I think all has been said.
Okay, all of it. That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
In as much as the resource in terms of the human capacity burden has been fantastic from the GPHA. When it comes to the equipment, okay, I think, like I said initially, we can do something more than that. And when it comes to the utilization, here is the case: we have trained people, we have a lot of expertise, okay, that we can let them do more. When it comes to the shipyard, we have fantastic welders who are craft certified. They can do all sort of welding, G2, G4 up to G6, and even SABAC welding. But here is the case: the facility to work with is an issue.
So if I should understand you, we have certified Ghanaian welders.
Sure.
Okay, who could do more. But of course, we don't have the equipment to work with.
Yeah.
All right. So
as well as the machinists.
So that is clearly understood.
Yeah.
My question about your capacity had to do some way, somehow, with the fact that looking at your slipway,
Sure.
it is just about 50 meters by 10 meters.
Sure.
Am I right?
Sure.
And your slipway,
The grave dog is 50 meters by 10 meters.
yes,
Yeah.
in width.
Yeah, in width.
And your slipway is about,
Yeah,
is it 120 or 150?
The length is 180.
180.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we are hearing prime meridian docks. That's bringing in a floating dock with a length over of about 250 meters.
Sure.
What do you say to that? Is that, are they going to be your competitor, or they are going to augment your operational activities? Chief, what do you say to that?
Let me first of all say that the limitations of the slipway and the graving dock has not so much effect, in that there are a whole lot of jobs you can do afloat, from electrical, electronic works, from painting, hull, deck, and superstructure maintenance. The shipyard takes care of only works that can not be done afloat, and that is the underwater area of the vessel. I mean, there's the sea chest and all. Much, I can say, over 50% of works can be done afloat. Annual dockings come once in a year that they have to float it dry and all. So we need to sell ourselves out of the various services that the shipyard can provide. And now the Prime Meridian is coming with their market. There are specialized vessels they are going to attend to, but the various services for their business will have a spillover. We have lathe machines lying down, we have welders, and this floating dock is happen to be operating in port. So the advantage of localization of this floating dock, ancillary jobs can be done here. So it is going to be to our advantage. There is nothing to fear. They are bringing in more for us to do. Yeah.
You are itching to say something.
Yeah.
Let's hear from you.
I think that, you see, the after effect or the side effect of a docking process has so many businesses associated with it. So when we position ourselves properly with our workshop team, with our experts in different sections, even lagging in shipyards in Singapore, there are people who are specialized in lagging. They are lagging materials, they are lagging tools. So when the ships come, they'll use the specialized lagging team to do the job. And you charge them, you pick your money. Your plumbing team, specialized plumbing team, they go, they do the work, you charge. So that is
tank cleaning
team, and the welding team. So the floating dock, to float the vessel is one thing. Every other business around it, we can take part in that type of business if we structure ourselves well. So it is not going to compete with us and push us out of business if we structure ourselves properly. So it will aid our business. They will even bring in more machines, use our facilities, develop, and then there are small jobs that we can do. However, we have a niche. The type of market we are looking for is not the same market. They are vessels of different sizes. That's all. So our target and our niche, our capacity will not compete with our peers. But we may have to position ourselves to benefit from their coming. So overflow. Our teams can go on board and do a lot of jobs for which we can charge. Notable of such floating works recently is this supply vessel that the shipyard worked on it afloat at the oil and gas jetty. Of course, they did, and the shipyard manager will throw more light on that. These are the capacity that we have. The vessel is still in dock, right out there, and it's as good as new. We changed it, we did a lot of work on it, but he will throw more light on that. So we have that capacity. Though we are not coming, Prime Meridian is not coming to push out our business. If we position ourselves well, we'll feed and make money off their coming.
Engineer, you saying something?
Yeah, their coming is more or less advantage to the shipyard. Like he said, let me take it from our niche market. we are of specific types of vessel because that is our limitation now. And the fishing vessels, that's our, in the market, our niche. Like, but as we are talking about in terms of capacity, yes, we have the human resource, we upgrade them. What are they going to work with? We have to position ourselves well. When this spillover comes, how are you going to work? You are going to clean the tanks. What are the equipment that you have? You are going to work on the shaft. You are going to turn a certain sort of shaft, going to straighten it. What are you going to work with? Are you still going to work with all this old conventional or obsolete sort of equipment? So we have to position ourselves well. When we position ourselves, we are not afraid of what they are coming, but rather they are coming is a sort of advantage to us. Like he was saying, the afloat work is something that we've been doing. We work on the Medi Yokohama at number 6. We work on this vessel. I've forgotten the name. We work it on the anchorage, whereby we have to trim the vessel to bow to extend that the stern will come up for the expert to change the stern tube seal. Okay, those are far as that we can work, and it was done by our welders, our machinists, and all that. They are experts, so that's where the underutilized also comes in. Give them the equipment and see what they can do and do it better.
Yeah. So as we hear from the experts themselves, the key word here is to position themselves so that the overflow or the other jobs that comes along with the arrival of the floating dock can well be harnessed by GPHA, and for that matter, there's nothing to fear about. We have to position ourselves to primary docks are no competitors, rather it is to our advantage to work along with them. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. But before we wrap up on this, in brief, what is the future of the shipyard Takoradi Port? Starting from you, the head of department.
Yes, recently we tabled a strategic initiative to make this facility a one-stop marine repair center, giving it some timelines, and from just what we submitted now, we are geared towards positioning ourselves well so that in 5 years we'll be doing extensive works at the dry bulk terminal, vessels alongside the oil and gas terminal, as well as vessels that will be calling the shipyard for their job. We are also building the human capacity, so and then have licenses to take care of salvage works in the approaches and then in the basin, like firefighting, vessels in distress and all. So there is an initiative. This is with the director, and we will continue to work until we reach that goal.
I'll continue from you.
Okay. Like the port marine engineer said, our strategic plan and goal is to build a modern marine engineering department that will be the go-to point for marine services within the salvage, with top-class, competent marine engineers and experts. Okay, so salvage, we have some salvage capacity. You know, all our tugboats have got pollution control equipment on board, apart from the firefighting equipment. So we have tanks for dispersants, but the dispersants are not in there. We have pumps to spread up dispersants. We have oil booms to cut off any possible spillage or pollution. Then we have the ability, the oil skimmers. There are skimmers on board. We have some ashore. So we have some capacity, but we need to intentionally, like my boss said, develop this so that we are a go-to place to support the upstream and downstream section of the oil and gas sector when there are emergencies.
And lastly, Mr. Kaiko.
Yeah, Let me say the future is bright, and we are expecting the shipyard to be like one-stop sort of ship repair center with class-approved expert or personnel. We are seeing future to be like when you come here, you want the surveyors, you should get them here. When you want the DNTs, you should get them here. When you get the lieutenants, you want to get approved or certified welders, you should get them here. So that it will not be a situation whereby you come with your shaft, the bench shaft, we have to send it to somebody to do it and all that. It all affects the vessels turnaround time in the dock. So that is the future. The future is for this shipyard to be a one-stop repair shipyard with class-approved personnel. Thank you.
Now you've heard from the experts yourselves. The future is to make the shipyard of Takoradi Port a one-stop shop for all other ship repair and maintenance activities. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me once again the Port Marine Engineer, Chief Engineer Lloyd Kwame Gawu. He's flanked with his able Lieutenant Engineer Kingsley Kaiko, being the shipyard manager, and his deputy, Chief Engineer Peter Henry Ochre. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We hope to meet again for the part 2 of this session, and I'm sure by that time we will be working hand in hand to obtain all the information and all the support that is being needed to make the shipyard what we want it to be. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.